go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner, bottom left hand corner of El Dorado, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing himself, currently teamless, but an amazing player in his own right. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, returning from a break, from a vacation, from a hiatus. He is back for Team Falcons. It is Bunny. Here we go. So we are going to be settling into El Dorado. And again, I'm more than happy to focus and embrace Dark whenever I can. Dark is a player that recently did not compete in Masters Coliseum in those qualifiers. And a lot of people, myself included, assume that his military service might be on the horizon. It might be on the horizon here. That would explain why he did not take part in Master Coliseum qualifiers, because it is a 2-month event, and if you can't commit to the 2 months, then you can't play. Of course, it's unlikely that you'll be able to compete. So if that's the case, then maybe there's good reason for it, and maybe military service is looming here for Dark. It's been one of those things that Dark has been talking about for a very long time, and he just hasn't gone. we don't know as to why. We know, for example, for Zest did have some health complications which did delay his military service for a long time until eventually he was able to actually go. If you remember, Zest, he had some back issues. He had some back problems, which he had to, I think he had to undergo physical therapy to actually get to a point where he could actually go to the military or something along those lines. I'm not too sure about his recovery, but eventually did go. So again, hopefully everything's okay over on the side of Dark. For the time being, we do have a gasless opener. Gasless here by Dark. This is a very stylistic opener here by Dark. He does embrace this very, very often. And we'll be getting into it as the first Reaper has arrived. Going to be dancing with the Lings. Basically, what's happening here is that Dark goes for a very fast third. Very fast third base here for Dark. No gases whatsoever. And his goal here is to defend with purely Queens and slow Lings. And with as minimal Lings as possible as well. The purpose of this opener is to cut corners, be hyper greedy, and this leads into Roach play because there's no Ling speed. There's no Ling speed for a very, very long time, so you skip Ling speed, you go into Roaches as well, and this opener is viable on maps like El Dorado. For example, as you can see here, this Reaper has to go through the long way around, and harassing and applying pressure to this third base, it's almost like a giant pocket base. The only way to gain access to it is drop play, or as you just saw, going through the natural into the third, or mining through the minerals yourself. So it's just really awkward here. It can be awkward for a Terran player to really apply too much pressure here. So Dark, he feels confident that he can defend with purely Queen. We'll see if he can. You can see already Bunny working on those mineral patches. Oh, there you go. Just getting a better angle. Does mine through, does gain access to this southern half of the map. And we'll see if Bunny can pull Dark apart. Again, Dark, he's at his weakest before he gets into Roaches. Because again, he only has Queens and slow Lings. Here come the Hellions. Here come the Hellions here for Bunny. You can see the Overlord getting in position, and the Overlord, does he spot him? He barely saw them for a second or two. Likewise, he should notice that the mineral patch has been mined from. Hellions are revealed, and Dark, he is responding. There's that Roach Warren for Dark, as we did mention. Roach Warren's on the way. Hellions, they bypass the Queens. And Queens out of position, they're off greed. Drone's going to be going down, getting one, getting two. 2 workers do fall, and Bunny, he will pull out. We'll get the hell out of there. We'll pull away. Likewise, Dark trying to keep up. We'll rotate. When it comes to the main base, it was a 3cc build here by Bunny, so very economic. 3rd cc into a 111, into Stim, and Liberas. No Banshees. Going for a Hellion Lib instead. Liberator's on the way towards the main. Or towards the third. So far, Darky's maintaining himself. Did lose 2 workers so far, but only 2. Getting to a fast layer. Taking more gases. Getting to his third, soon to be 4th gas. Liberator sieging up, but the Queens are ready. And Queens, they rotate over. Lib taking a lot of damage at the same time. Massive Hellion harass here towards the third. And the third base hits so wide open. Bunny looking for a way in. Oh! Does try to dive. For now, one Hellion will fall. As the Liberator does get into the natural. 2 drones so far. Nice damage. 2 workers and a queen. 2 workers and a ling. As Bunny still trying to look for a way in. He is denied. A lot of lost mine time though in the natural. Not bad. Bunny getting a lot done. Likewise, he pulls back, taking his third base, going for the goal, but Roach is a hit to deny mining, or at least they try to. The tank should deal with this. As the tank does siege. Forces back the Roaches. Bunny hunting down Overlords. And soon taking advantage of this gold base. Again, these are some of the features of El Dorado. Both players going for the golds. Bunny's taking it as a third, so he will have a boosted mineral economy. And more Marines as a result. More of everything, really. Throwing down more Raxes. Getting into his 7 Rax setup. Into 1-1. And did I say, yeah, so far, sorry, getting into his 8 Rax setup. Now I was about to say, once I saw the 7 Raxes, that this is a pretty good map for an 8 Rax, considering the short rush distance by ground, especially, you know, here towards the southern half. And it looks like Bunny is going for a 3 base all in. I mean, especially with the gold minerals, this is going to be a really brutal 8 Rax. And it's going to be difficult for Dark to hold. We'll see if he can. See if he can. As he's building up his Roaches. Takes control of this Naga. Bunny still gearing up. Just waiting for his Raxes to finish up. And again, so typically, some of the signs of an 8 Rax is, instead of just the 8 Raxes, you typically don't take any gases at your third. But here, there are no gases, period, at the third. Like, so, and you get boosted mineral income. So, like, again, this map is, it's perfect for an 8 Rax. Absolutely perfect for it. The Marines are amassing. 1 factory or 1 tank at a time. With that 1 factory production, and Bunny, he will soon pull the trigger. And now going for drop play. Ooh, my apologies. Bunny getting a 4th CC. So I had assumed that Bunny was going for a 3 base all in, but no, he does begin a 4th. That is going to slow him down, and as we can see, instead of going for a main frontal assault, he's going for drop play. Sims in, Dark gonna be the one to push forward. The tanks are exposed. Uh-oh. Tanks are exposed. Bunny, he's out of position. And the tanks are going down one after the other. Bunny getting caught with his pants down. Denial of the 4 CC. And Dark, he just goes right down mid. Goes for the kill. Off of 69 workers. Gets a kill the 3rd CC. Oh my god. Kills the 3rd CC. Pushing in. At the same time, double drop here towards the natural. Is gaining ground, but Dark, he's buying enough time. And he's done crippling damage. He reset the tank count. He killed 2 bases, the 4th and the 3rd. And just like that, Bunny, he's in trouble. He's hurting. Again, I was a little bit in shock myself that he was going for drop play instead, but that means that back at home he was vulnerable, didn't have as much to defend. And Bunny was caught with his pants down. Dark now going for the kill, going straight for the natural. There's still 1 tank on the high ground. That will slow Dark down. And Dark doesn't even have to go for the kill. He can just back off and drone. He can just back off and macro up if he so chose to. For now, replacing or reinforcing with Lings, getting into 2-2 upgrades, building up for his 2nd wave. This time with Banelings, and he's taking up into an infestation pit. I do appreciate this. Again, Dark doesn't have to kill his opponents on 2 bases. Like Bunny, he's going to be starved out. All that Dark has to do is deny the 3rd. Just deny the 3rd base over and over again. Take more expansions. There we go. We do have the 5th base now being retaken. I believe it was cancelled earlier. No, sorry, it was killed. Was killed earlier by the drop. We can see Dark double expanding. Not the safest time to drone, especially with a Roach Ravager based composition. But safe to tech, safe to expand. This Dark is getting another core base. Oh my god. Files that don't quite connect. Bunny moving out. Gets eyes on the Ravagers. Stimming in. There's not enough here though. Once again, the tanks, they get caught quite out in the open. Files, they connect, they shut down the bio. And GG gets called. Dark, he will take game number 1. GG. Oh my god, a very strong move. A strong move out by Dark, able to shut Bunny down when he was at the most weakest. Again, Bunny, he was building up Marines, building up his tank count. What did Bunny not have? Well, half his Marine count was across the map, going for drops instead. Likewise, no SimCity. There was surprisingly little SimCity here between the 3rd and 4th base, around the CCs themselves. Oh, no bunkers, no depots, no nothing. It was just completely wide open and completely exposed. And with that, Dark does take the first game, and now we're getting into game number 2. That's also where, coming into that game as well, it is a double-edged sword where, I mean, that map is just favorable to aggression, especially if they expand towards each other. That's why I expected Bunny to go for the 8 racks, but he didn't. I mean, he went for 8 racks, but then he went for a 4 CC and drop play. Like, instead of focusing on a frontal push, Bunny, it looked like he was a little bit of two minds as to what he wanted and where he wanted to take it as well. So, yeah, interesting build there from Bunny. Maybe a little bit indecisive as to how he wanted to approach things, was caught out, and now we're getting into game number 2. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Falcons. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Bunny. Here we go. Again, for those of you that maybe aren't on social media, Dark did recently leave his team. He was on Team Falcons for, he was on Talon Esports. My apologies. He was in Talon Esports for quite some time, and honestly, it was really cool to see their support over time with Dark. We spoke about it more in depth last night during the podcast, or sorry, 2 nights ago during the podcast. That is our weekly talk show about StarCraft. We went a little bit more in depth, but in general, we were really happy with Talon Esports' performance when it came to supporting Dark, making content, hosting interviews, and yeah, they were quite active when it came to supporting him. And we also all knew that it was a temporary agreement. Talon Esports themselves, I want to say around EWC, did talk about how they wanted to support Dark for as long as they could, but they also knew that Dark was soon going to military, so it was like a shorter contract. It was a shorter agreement between the teams. And shout out to Talon Esports for even supporting Dark post EWC as well until the end of the year, until the end of 2024. And that is also what is leading us to believe that Dark is going to the military soon. It's a couple of things, right? It's 1, Master Coliseum, 2, leaving Talon Esports as well. Like, it all kind of like leans in that direction. We have no confirmation. It's purely speculation on our part, but there's like, again, like reasons behind the speculation. We'll find out in time. We'll find out in time what will occur with Dark in the coming new year, coming into January. Which is also why, at least until then, I want to cast and cover Dark as much as I can, while I can. Before he goes to the military. Este Dark. As for now, Rax Command standard opener here out of Bunny. Meanwhile, this time Dark going for a standard opener himself. Remember, last game on El Dorado, because of the map itself, it's more viable to go for a gasless start. Here, gas. I should say hatch gas pool. 3rd base is delayed, so nicely done here by Bunny. Will delay the expansion, and Dark, he's going to be forced elsewhere. Ooh, Ling's moving out across the map. Dark, preserving that drone. And Dark's trying to force the army back home. CC's on the way. It's going to finish up in a couple of seconds. It looks like it will finish up just barely in time before the Lings arrive. A command center does complete. Lings, they bust in, but the CC is done. And Dark, he can maybe get 1 SCV, but not much more than that. Meanwhile, back at home, oh, big delay here on the 3rd. Massive delay for Dark. Canceling the gas geyser twice, now 3 times. Does kill 1 Marine across the map, but no, not even. Gee, that was a Ling falling. My apologies. I saw some blood and I thought it was a Marine, but no. Bunny, really strong start. He delays the 3rd base quite heavily. He kills 3 Lings. His natural's up and running. So very solid start here by Bunny. This is going 3 CC into this time what looks to be an add-on swap. Remember, last game was 3 CC into Liberator into Fast Stim. This time 3 CC into add-on swap into Banshees. So a slight variation here, or deviation from Bunny when it comes to his build. Going into Cloak Banshee instead. Meanwhile, across the map, Dark, he does finally get his third base, but it is a very delayed third. And the Hellions, they just go past. They just run past the Queen straight into the mineral line. Drones are going to be going down, but how many? So Fire gets one, he gets two. Gets two workers, does pull a couple of boys. Ooh, a third drone does fall. Can he get four? Ooh, not quite. Oh, not quite. As the final Hellion does get picked off. But 3 drones this early on, not too bad. Not too bad here for Bunny, especially considering his earlier lead as well. Bunny is in a nice position. And we'll see if he can extend that lead with continued Hellion harass and Banshee harass. Remember, Cloak is on the way. So Bunny, he might choose to just wait for Cloak before moving out with the Banshees. He can still be active with those Hellions though. Meanwhile, it's going to be a lair first here by Dark. Lair into Bailey Nest. Relatively standard follow-up here. Relatively safe as well. Going for the earlier nest. Here we go. No Gamba. Oh, my apologies. My sorry, I was engrossed in the series, so my apologies. But yes. Predictions are now open. I mean, we're already one game in, so I apologize. I'll be more on top of that next time. I was just having a much more frantic start to the beginning of the series, just because I had to restart my client, so I do apologize. But predictions are now open. You can place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. What I will say is that coming into game 2, there is a higher chance that we have an ace match just because Bunny has had a much more comfortable start. But just because Bunny has had some nice advantages at the start of the game doesn't mean that Dark is out of this. Not at all. Ooh, as the 4th base is under fire, detection's coming in. Can he force a cancel? Up, one of us. One more. Ooh, he does force a cancel once again. Another massive pickup. Big delay here on the 4th. Banshees are headed towards the natural. Drone's going to be going down. And Bunny, he already had a nice start to the game. And now that lead is being extended here, getting 5 drone kills, denying the 4th base, dipping back in, getting a 6th drone. And as long as he doesn't lose the Banshees, I mean, he can just continue to threaten the bases. Going for the Queen. There should be a transfuse. Oh, there's a transfuse just in time. Banshees, they back off. Nice shuffling there of the Banshees as well from Bunny. Reserving his HP. And it is forced out. But again, just a very, very strong start for Bunny. Just so much going his way. Behind this, Dark, he's trying to fortify himself and he's taking. Okay, interesting choice. Dark, he's taking into Hydras. What does this mean? This means that most likely he's going to be saturating himself on 3 and 4 bases. This base is not just for Larva. He has a plus on melee on the way. He's trying to transition into what looks to be a Ling Bane Hydra. He's building up to that point. We'll see if he can get there. Likewise, back at home, Bunny, it's 7 minutes. You know what that means? It's time for the 7-minute move out. Let's go. The armory is almost done. So these Hellions, they can morph into Hellbats to support the army to make sure the tank doesn't get surrounded. Speaking of, here come the Hellbats. And Dark, how many Banelings does he have? 11. Okay, 11 Banelings. Tank does siege. Only one tank. Uh-oh. Banelings, they roll in. They crash into the Hellbats. Hellbats get cleaned up. And it looks like Bunny just doesn't have enough here. Again, usually we move out with 2 tanks, but the second tank was left back at home. So very uncommitted move out here by Bunny. As the other moves out with half his army, he does threaten the bases, but he backs off. He backs off, is getting a 4th CC, he's building up towards a longer game state. And Bunny's looking to head into and embrace that mid-game. Banshees, they do hit the southern expansion. Going for the 5th. Dark trying to respond. And Bunny trying to pull him apart. The last Ling Bane is ready. Ling Bane is in position. And behind this is only the 1 tank. Dark could try to break out. His creep is receding. Queen's otherwise busy against the Banshees. And Bunny's going for drop play. He's looking to hop around. Let's go. Loading, moving out towards the south. Meanwhile, the bio does come in for a surround. Does at least try to. Yeah, tank will fall. Not a bad trade here by Dark. Shuts down the tank. Forces back the drop. Likewise, Dark, slightly out of position. He has some links here, though. Dazzling's ready, trying to force friendly fire. Oh, very nicely done. The friendly fire. Dark dragging the Might Shield into the Marines, and with that, Dark, he will defend. Will defend. Meanwhile, oh my god, the target firing. Bunny does target fire with the Banelings. He can trade against the Lings, shut down the Hydras, and Bunny will take the better trade here towards the north. Dark towards the south. Yeah, keeping it with each other, but you can see the supply difference here with Bunny. Again, he's had a much better start to the game when it came to crippling the economy, slowing down the bases here of Dark. That is leading into this supply gap. Bunny's maxed. Bunny's maxed out. He's on 4 bases, now getting a 5th CC as well. And defending without lurkers is going to be difficult here for Dark. Not impossible, but very difficult. We'll see if he can. The Mind Shot's, Mind Shot's going up. The Chuckling Bane goes down. Bunny stimming in. Dark trying to keep up. 28 more links on the way. Bunny pushing forward. Ideally spreading out those mines. Mind Shot's going to be going up once again on the Ling Bane. Yeah, brutal connections, barely any Banelings left. Bunny's pushing in. That's still an overwhelming amount of Ling Hydra though. Yeah, he can't surround even without Banelings. He forces back the army. Ooh, doesn't quite get the Medivacs. Came close. Medivacs to escape. Jump towards the north, clearing up creep. And Bunny, his aggression continues. So just trying to pull Dark apart. Trying to break him. Lurker Den is done. Mind Shot's going up. We had some decent connections. But Dark is holding. That's what's important. He's holding on. He's buying time for his lurkers. Lurker range on the way. So far still holding on. Ooh, drop towards the north. Gets into the mineral line. Gets 1 drone. Now getting 2. Meanwhile, the Hydra's getting caught out. Who catches who? Nah, Dark, he can't engage off a creep. Not like this. He has to back up. Bunny gaining value. 3-3 is almost done. Lurker range finishing up. And we should soon see more lurkers morphed in. And there they are. The first wave of lurkers. 5 lurkers for Dark. He just has to buy time. And he should be able to. Lunges in. Mind Shot's going up, taking down some of those Medivacs. And Dark leading out a lot of aliens with the lurkers. They have arrived, and they will hold. Whew. Dark, now he can defend with the bare minimum, building up more lurkers and going for a massive link counterattack, catching reinforcements. And Marines, Marauders, trying to bait out those Widow Mines as well. Emphasis on trying. Does attempt to. Dark, he just engages. Not the most efficient trade here. Dark plummeting in supply. Oh, yeah, he bled out a lot of Lings there in the retreat. Not worth it. Lurker count is building up, but the Lurkers, they need support. It isn't just about Lurkers, it's about the Ling Bane as well. Without it, I mean, the Ghosts they can pop off. The Ghosts and the Liberators. It's Bunny, he's max, he's pushing in. Lurkers, they're on their own. Snipes going up. Ooh. He gets 1, he gets 2. 2 lurkers go down to 6. 6 lurkers left. Dark going for a massive counterattack. Mind Shots. Ooh. No major connections. Tank is exposed. Catching reinforcements, going for the ghosts. And not bad. He gets 1. Takes down a ghost. Bunny trying to gang around, but Lings, they do hit the 4th base as well. They run into the planetary. Bunny, he should hold on, but he's distracted. He's being distracted. Widowman's getting baited out. Dark just buying time. 8 SCV kills, not bad. Dark achieving quite a bit of damage here. Getting 11 SCVs, pulling back the army, delaying reinforcements. Borrowed Lings here in the natural. They can always unburrow to wreak havoc once again. And Dark, he held the line. He held the line. Ooh, does attempt another run by this time. Bunny's ready. And Bunny backs off. Yeah, at this point he just backs off, he just retreats. It was just a little bit too much chaos. Bunny has to lick his wounds. Lurker goes down. Unburrow into the natural. More SV kills. Darky's just getting as much breathing room as possible. Oof. Oh god. Oh, not like this. Jesus. That was how many? That was 137 links going down throughout that fight. Not just there, but previously as well. All in total. 145. Darky's holding on. Getting another expansion. Walling up with lurkers. Up to how many? Up to 7 lurkers so far. Getting to 3-3. Now, I still favor Bunny's army here. I mean, he has a more efficient army, I should say. How many ghosts does he have? 11. He's got 11 ghosts. He's got a couple of liberators. Upgrades are on the way for the liberators as well. Already on 3-3. So Bunny can take a better fight. But as we've seen, it hasn't been... Like, Dark, he hasn't been trying to win these fights. Just been trying to buy time. Buy time and go for counterattacks instead. But where are the lurkers? Yeah, they're towards the south instead. Nice round. Oh no! Bunny! Ooh, late reaction. He does snipe the expansion, but he will lose a bunch of his army. Means the Marauders go down. By moving in. Once again, he wants those lurkers. Snipes go up. He gets 1. Oh, he gets 2. 2 lurkers go down. Dark once again going for a massive counterattack. He does get a kill, not a cancel. Takes down the CC, getting into the mineral line. Bunny turns everything back around. He races back home. As the army's breaking through, Nidastorm was in the main, but it gets cleaned up. And Bunny, he loses 18 SCVs. Nidus into the main once again. And Bunny now finally, for the first time in a long time, falling behind in supply. And again, time and time again, Dark, he's known that he cannot win these fights head on. Instead, just non-stop counterattacks. Just non-stop run-bys instead. Defending with the bare minimum, defending with lurkers. While he hits with everything else. Takes down the lib. Pushing into the... No! No splits! No splits, no spread. Ay. Bunny! Asleep at the wheel, Poppy. Otherwise distracted, I'm sure, by the other link counterattack. And with that, takes a massive bailing to the face. Speaking of, Darky attempts another run-by. Nidus into the main. And Darky's max. He's max. He's now taken another expansion. He's on 7 bases. Has a booming economy. Building up a bank. Nidastorms, they continue. And Bunny's been being pulled apart. And finally, Darky has done critical damage. Breaking the defensive line. Diving in once again. Takes down the lib. Gets 1, gets 2. Nidastorm finishes. Mass lurker counterattack into the main. Going for the production. And Darky's going for the kill. Now that he's in the main base, this means that this army from Bunny is not getting any larger. It's not getting any bigger. Not anymore. Takes down an expansion. But Dark pushing to the natural. Came to the main base. Came to the production. Going for the contamination as well. Let's go. Ooh. And Bunny, he's just running out of steam. He's running out of steam at this point. Pushing on forward. Bunny, he had a really strong start to the game. Remember, he was killing workers, sniping bases, out-trading his opponents. He was up in supply. He was the first to max out. Bunny was playing this out well, but he could not kill Dark. That's what was important. Couldn't kill him. Massive fungals. MP's too late. And Bunny behind this, even supply blocked. Couldn't make anything even if he wanted to. And this is all that's left for Bunny. These 4 Metamax and these ghosts. GG gets called. The writing was on the wall, and Dark will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Dark. He will claim the series. Very strong performance here out of Dark. I'm going to say that. Shout out to Bunny. Bunny was not looking bad at all in game 2, but Dark, it was all about buying time and stabilizing, just buying time for his lurkers. Once he had his lurkers, finally he could start to counterattack and be more active on the map, getting into mineral lines, getting into bases, popping off with Nidus Storms, popping off with Burrow as well. Initially, Bunny was holding on, Bunny was defending, but over time, we saw that Dark was able to chip away the defenses and eventually break through and start to cause havoc and deal critical damage. With that, GG. GG, well played. Dark does take the 2-0, and that leads us into the semi-finals. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourself.